I will never get married. Those were the words that escaped little MMA's trembling lips the night the world she knew collapsed before her eyes. While you enjoy the story, please don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. She said them quietly, like a secret meant only for the stars, but the moment those words left her mouth, they became a vow. A vow carved from pain. A vow shaped from trauma. A vow a child should never have to make. MMA was 11. Small. Slim. Bright-eyed. Always the child who hid behind her mother's wrapper when strangers visited. Always the gentle girl at school whose laughter made her friends giggle. But laughter had gone silent in their house a long time ago. Because her parents' marriage was a battlefield. Not a home. Her father, Mr. Okoro, was known across the community as a strong man, hardworking, proud, quick-tempered. His voice alone could silence a crowd. But behind the walls of their house, that voice became a weapon. He hit his wife for everything. If the soup had too much salt. If she asked a question he didn't like. If she walked too slowly. If she cried. And MMA saw it all. Every slap. Every insult. Every tear her mother swallowed. But one night, that terrible, unforgettable night, MMA saw something worse. She stood at their sitting room door, peeping from behind the curtain. Her heart pounded like a drum. She heard her parents arguing again, but this argument felt different. Something in her father's voice sounded dangerous, deadly. Then she saw him grab her mother by the neck. "Mama," she cried before she could stop herself. Her father didn't even hear her. Her mother struggled, clawing at his hands, her eyes begging for mercy. Her legs kicked desperately. The room shook with the struggle. "MMA, run," her mother gasped, voice weak and breaking. But MMA didn't run. She froze. Paralyzed. Terrified. She watched her father's fingers tighten. She watched her mother's eyes roll back. She watched her mother collapse. And in that instant, something inside MMA cracked, like a glass heart hitting the floor. She didn't scream. She didn't move. She just whispered, "I will never get married." Her father walked away, breathing heavily. Her mother lay on the ground, coughing, crying, shaking. That image burned itself into MMA's soul forever. After that night, MMA changed. She began to fear loud voices. She began to jump at sudden sounds. She began to hide inside herself, like a turtle in its shell. School was no longer joyful. She became quiet, withdrawn, always staring into space. Her teachers noticed. Her friends noticed. But they thought she was simply shy. Only her mother understood. But her mother was fading. Slowly. Quietly. Day by day. Bruises became more frequent. Coughs became constant. Her eyes lost their shine. One morning, her mother could not get up from bed. Her breathing was slow and painful. MMA held her hand tightly. "Mama, please don't leave me," MMA whispered. Her mother smiled weakly, brushing MMA's cheek. "My beautiful girl. I'm sorry I didn't protect you." She died that evening. They buried her quietly, without questions, without truth. People murmured that she was sick. But MMA knew the sickness. It was shaped like fist. It was named violence. At the graveyard, while people cried softly around her, she stood still, staring at the ground, feeling emptiness swallow her. She whispered again, this time louder. "I will never get married. Never." Years passed. MMA grew into a stunning young woman, tall, slim, graceful, with a beauty she never recognized. Her hair was thick, her skin glowed naturally, and her eyes carried a deep sadness she tried to hide. Suitors came. Oh, they came in numbers. Some came with laughter. Some came with pride. Some came with money. Some came with songs and sweet words. But for MMA, every man looked like her father. She saw fists in their gestures. She saw violence in their shadows. She saw danger in their smiles. She ran from all of them. Sometimes she simply said, "I'm not interested." Other times she acted dramatic, shouting, throwing things around, pretending to have strange spirits. Sometimes she warned them. "If you marry me, I will make your life miserable." A few stubborn ones returned. She scared them off again. And again. And again. The entire village soon had one conclusion. MMA does not want a husband. But her father refused to accept that. Mr. Okoro, still bitter, still harsh, wanted his daughter married at all costs. He wanted to brag. He wanted grandchildren. He wanted power. He wanted to prove he was still in control. So each time a young man came to show interest in MMA, her father would beam with pride. But each time the man ran away terrified, he would storm into MMA's room. "What is wrong with you?" he would shout. She never answered. "Are you cursed? Are you mad? Must you disgrace me?" She looked away every time. But one evening, he slapped her, a burning, heavy slap that echoed through the room. It was the same hand that destroyed her mother. MMA slowly turned and faced him. Her eyes were empty. Her voice was cold. "You cannot force me." "What did you say?" "You cannot force me to marry." Her father raised his hand again. But this time, she caught his wrist. Firm. Strong. Unshaken. And she whispered, "You already killed one woman. You will not kill me too." Her father froze. For the first time, he looked afraid of his own child. She released his hand and walked out, leaving him trembling. One calm afternoon, a new man arrived in the village. His name was Chaik. He had a soft face, calm eyes, and a smile that warmed the heart. He moved gently, spoke gently, laughed gently. He wasn't loud. He wasn't boastful. He wasn't aggressive. He was peaceful. And that confused MMA. Because she didn't know how to process peace. Peace was unfamiliar. Peace was suspicious. Peace was dangerous. So when Chai greeted her, she didn't respond. When he complimented her hair, she walked away. When he offered to help her carry her basket, she refused. Yet Chai did not chase her like other men. He did not brag. He did not insist. He did not push. He simply respected her space. And that made her feel seen in a scary way. One day, she found him under a mango tree reading to children. His voice was gentle, his smile soft. She watched from a distance, strangely drawn to him. When the children left, he walked past her. He didn't stop. He didn't speak. But he dropped a small folded paper beside her. She hesitated before opening it. It read, "Not all men hurt. Not all homes break. When you are ready to trust again, I will be here." Her heart shook. Something shifted inside her, a tiny crack in her wall. But cracks are frightening. So she ran away. Months later, the entire village buzzed with news. Mr. Okoro collapsed. People rushed to his compound. When a neighbor told MMA, she went stiff. She didn't move. She didn't speak. She didn't know whether to go or stay away. Finally, she went. Her father lay on his bed, weak, pale, breathing heavily. "MMA," he whispered when he saw her. "Please, sit." She hesitated before sitting on a small bench. He held her hand. "I am sorry." Tears filled her eyes instantly, but she blinked them away. "I destroyed your childhood," he continued. "I destroyed your mother. And now, I am destroying myself." He began to cry softly, something she had never seen. "I want you to forgive me, MMA. I want to die with peace." She swallowed hard. Forgiveness felt like a mountain. But she took a slow, shaky breath. "I am not ready," she whispered. "I understand," he said, voice cracking. "Just don't carry my sins forever. You are not me." She cried then, silently, painfully, and placed her hand on his chest. That night, she didn't sleep. The next morning, she sat outside her house quietly, lost in thought. Jack passed by again. He didn't come too close. He simply greeted gently. "Good morning, MMA." This time, she replied. "Good morning." He paused, surprised. Their eyes met. And something warm passed between them, something fragile and new. He sat on a nearby stone, waiting. She looked at him, her voice barely above a whisper. "I am afraid of men. I know. I don't trust marriage. That is okay. I don't know how to love. I can teach you," he said softly, "but only if you want me to." Tears rolled down her cheeks. He didn't move to wipe them. He let her cry. When she was done, he spoke again. "I will never become your father. I will never hurt you. I will never shout at you. I will never force you. I will never rush you." The breeze blew gently between them. For the first time in years, MMA's heart allowed something new. Hope. Healing is not straight. It is not fast. It is not easy. But MMA tried. She talked to Jack often now, small talks, gentle talks. Sometimes she asked him questions. Sometimes she shared a memory. Sometimes she just sat beside him silently. Jack never complained. He just stayed. Steady. Patient. Soft. Slowly, she began to smile. Slowly, she began to breathe. Slowly, she began to sleep peacefully. And little by little, she began to believe that not all men were monsters. 2 years passed. Her father, now a changed man, apologized again and again. Not just with words, with actions. He attended counseling at the local church. He warned young men against violence. He volunteered at the health center, helping victims of domestic abuse. He became gentle, quiet, humble. One day, MMA approached him. "I forgive you," she said softly. Her father burst into tears. From that day, a new relationship began between them, slow, fragile, but real. Around the same time, her relationship with Jack grew beautifully. She laughed more. He walked with him to the stream. She shared stories. She opened her heart piece by piece. And one sunset evening, while sitting beside the mango tree where they first connected, she whispered, "Jack, I am ready." He looked at her, not understanding. "Ready for what?" "Ready to live," she said. "Ready to love. Ready to trust again." He smiled, a beautiful, grateful smile. "And marriage?" he asked quietly. She reached for his hand. "When the time comes," she whispered, "I will choose it myself. Not by force. Not by fear. Not because of anyone. But because I want it." A new vow asterisk asterisk. She once said, "I will never get married." But life had gently rewritten that vow. Not by pressure. Not by force. Not by fear. But by healing. By forgiveness. By patience. by love that did not hurt. Years later, when she eventually married Czech, it wasn't the marriage she feared as a child. It was a marriage she chose. A marriage she entered with a healed heart. A marriage that honored her mother's memory. A marriage where love was safe. And standing beside the man who treated her with tenderness, MMA whispered a new promise. I will never accept a love that hurts.